begin. Thanks very much for coming. If you have a cell phone, I'd like to ask that you please silence it during the event here. Troop 2 Honor Guard, please advance with our honoree. Bugler, please sound assembly. Would everyone please stand and glance for the presentation of the colors and the flag of allegiance. Color guard, attention. Troop, attention. Color guard, advance. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. Guests may put their hands over their hearts. Scout, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Color guard, post the colors. Color guard, you are dismissed. Scout sign. Scout oath. On my honor,
I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
Law.
Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
2. You may be seated. Before we begin, I'd like to invite Pastor Glenn Hannigan, to deliver the invocation.
When most of us were young, I think we didn't have as much an appreciation for ceremony and sort of rigid, formal events, but the older I get, the more I learn to appreciate the rites of passage that we have. In this culture, we don't have as many rites of passage as previous generations. This is a very special rite of passage that few have the opportunity to participate in. And what makes it so meaningful is that though we're here to recognize the achievement and what Will has done, that this has been a community effort. Now look at his family and mentor and other scouts and leaders and people that put in so much time, and the list of about 36 volunteers that helped him with his final project. And there are rare few things in our culture that mark such a special event and honoring and recognition of what a team does, working together and helping somebody achieve their goals. And so it's an honor to be here today, to see you all participate and to be a part of this. And the blessing that we have in being able to pray together. Now I ask it with the family and friends also that we would keep in mind that Will's grandfather can't be here today because he is being hospitalized, but indeed that he would be joining in this celebration as honoring of his grandson as well.
Scout is reverent.
Let us pray.
Lord, we thank you for Scouts. We thank you, Lord, for loyalty. We thank you for integrity and the perseverance that it takes to achieve and accomplish important things. Father, we pray that you would be present with us, bring us together as a community, bring us together, Lord, just in recognition of how your work through your people can make a difference in changing lives and helping transform those to live in a way that would bring honor to you and would bring peace to each other. And just thank you, Lord, for all these things. Amen.
Scouts, Scouters, and all friends of Scouting, I'd like to welcome you to this Eagle Court of Honor. My name is Mike Shambaugh. I'm the Scoutmaster for Troop 2, and today, I'll be serving as the Master of Ceremonies. This, obviously, is an occasion for great pride and joy for the troop, for Will, for his family, and for our community, as well as a time for serious reflection. Today, we have the pleasure of seeing Will O'Rourke culminate his scouting efforts when he joins the company of Eagle Scouts. On behalf of Will O'Rourke's family, I'd like to welcome all of you to this occasion. Many scouts set out on the trail to Eagle, but few have the perseverance to follow it to the end. Will O'Rourke is one of those few, and we are very happy today to honor his great achievement. We are also honored today to have with us members of Will's family who I wanted to introduce. We have Bill O'Rourke, Laura O'Rourke, Katie O'Rourke, J.M. Rollinson, Lee Rollinson, Evelyn Henderson, John Henderson, who is unable to be with us here today, Marlene Henderson, Aaron Henderson, Keith Hudson, Devin Devine, and Paul Devine, also who is unable to be with us here today. Additionally, I'd like to welcome the special guests we have with us today. Start with Mayor Matthews from the city of Kennesaw. We have Councilman Jeff Duckett and Councilman Tim Killingsworth from the city of Kennesaw. From the state, we have Representative Ed Setzler. From North Cobb High School, we have Dr. Philip Page. From the Mountain Lake District of the BSA, we have our District Exec, Brandon Dobbins. And of course, we have Pastor Glenn Hannigan. Also, we know that in the room here today, we have amongst us some of those who have already earned the rank of Eagle Scout. And I'd like to recognize those as well. So if you have earned the rank of Eagle Scout, I'd like to ask, please, that you will stand so that we can recognize and congratulate you. At this time, I'd like to ask the district chair or the district exec to please come forward and convene this court of honor.
Good afternoon, or good evening. I will now convene the National Eagle Scout Court of Honor. By the authority vested in me as a representative of the Atlanta Area Council and the National Council, Boy Scouts of America, I declare this Court of Honor to be convened. Will, congratulations on behalf of the Atlanta Area Council.
Next, I'd like to ask Will's uncle, Mr. J.M. Rollinson, to approach the podium for the Call of the Eagle.
I am the voice of the eagle. I speak for the eagles whose summit you have struggled so hard to reach. We remember well when you first came to the base of our mountain and how you looked up with ambition and determination. Pause for a moment and look back over the trail you have climbed. Look back at the adventures you have encountered on your ascent. These experiences are a valuable teacher if you but heed them. We remember when you took your first steps upon the Boy Scout trail. With your first step, you began to start living the Scout oath and law. You began to build yourself physically, mentally, and morally. Your brother Scouts then called you a tenderfoot, and they were right, for you were indeed a tenderfoot. But not for long, for as you climbed, you soon reached a turning in the trail, and you were greeted by a large group of friendly, second-class Scouts. Some, like yourself, were stopping to catch their breath before continuing along the trail. But you studied more, you worked harder, you continued your climb, and soon came to another turning, the place where first-class Scouts dwell. There you found a green, flowered meadow close by a crystal-clear stream, sparkling in sunshine. Many other Scouts rested beside the murmuring waters. You were tempted to remain. But your ambition spurred you, and you continued your upward venture. We next remember your progress when you turned the trail to become a Star Scout. You found the trail from first class had been an optical illusion, but not so difficult as it had first seemed. This inspired you to push forward, to climb higher. But now the trail was steeper and less traveled. Fewer Scouts seemed headed in your direction. You looked back and saw crowds below you. You looked up and saw very few above. Yet with the same determination as you started your climb, now enhanced by experience and resolve, you continued to push up the trail. Soon you turned another corner on the trail, and the heart-shaped badge of the Life Scout was placed on your uniform. You will always recall the thoughts in your heart at this moment. It has been experienced by all Scouts reaching the ledge of life. Now I am close to the eagle. I will carry on. But the trail now grows tougher and fainter. Many seem to falter along the way. The original simple principles of the Scout oath and law take on a fuller meaning as your understanding grows greater. We, the Eagles, have watched your character unfold and become more manly. We have watched your leadership ability expand into a valuable asset. We have watched your mind develop and your wisdom increase. Yes, we have watched all these things in you. And now that you are standing at the summit of the trail, in the glory of sunshine and wind and cloud, at the threshold of your goal, we, your fellow Eagles, applaud you and welcome you, for you have done your climbing in a true Scout-like manner.
Next, I'd like to ask one of our Assistant Scoutmasters from Troop 2, Jeff Higgins, who is himself an Eagle, to come up and speak briefly on the significance of the Eagle Badge.
Thank you. It's an honor and a privilege, Will, to be here at the first Eagle Court of Honor for Troop 2. I was at a merit badge clinic yesterday for a fellow Scout troop over in Johns Creek, and I was looking at their plaques on the wall. More than 120 Eagle Scouts from that troop. And I just thought that the comparison was unique, that today is our first Eagle Court of Honor for Troop 2, hopefully the first of many. But I thank you again for the honor and privilege of inviting me to speak. But what does being an Eagle Scout mean? We've seen some of the statistics on the slide presentation we have in the back, the number of astronauts who have been Eagle Scouts. Former President Gerald Ford was an Eagle Scout. There are lots of other famous examples of Eagle Scouts. Neil Armstrong, the first man to walk on the moon. Director Steven Spielberg is an Eagle Scout. The current mayor of New York City, Michael Bloomberg, is an Eagle Scout. Hundreds of CEOs, elected officials, clergymen, military officers have attained the rank of Eagle Scout. I even saw an article where someone said he was more proud of attaining the rank of Eagle than he was of his college degree. He went to Purdue, though, so maybe that's something. But how are all of these men connected? What is the common theme? In my research, I started to see a pattern, whether I was reading about a 21-year-old who was still active with his crew, who was working as a canoe guide at Northern Tier in Ely, Minnesota, or an executive recruiter who always tells his candidates to add their scouting experience to their resumes. One theme was repeated over and over again: confidence is the word. You've heard about the long and difficult journey to Eagle. After completing your journey, your outlook on life has changed. You have confidence in yourself to overcome any obstacle you may encounter. But you also have confidence in your peers to be supportive of your decisions and your efforts. You have confidence in your parents and authority figures to offer advice and help you on your path into the future. You have confidence in your community. You have confidence in the people of this country to solve their problems and build a better future. I've never met an Eagle Scout who was a pessimist. I don't think it's possible. The opportunities you have enjoyed and the challenges you have met and overcome through your leadership and your service have taught you that anything is possible. Thank you.
So what does it take to become an Eagle Scout? Those of you who are Eagle Scouts, or those of you who are Scouts, you know. But for the benefit of the rest of you who may not have spent a lot of time leafing through a Boy Scout handbook, I just wanted to list the requirements for becoming an Eagle Scout. Now, to be clear, these are the requirements simply to progress from life to Eagle. It doesn't include the requirements for all the other previous ranks. They are, number one, to be active in your troop and patrol for at least 6 months as a Life Scout. And when we say active, we mean active, participating in troop events, camping trips, and all the things that go with being in a troop. Requirement number two is demonstrating the Scout spirit by living the Scout oath and the Scout law in your everyday life. And this requirement is a requirement on every single rank. So it's clear that the BSA thinks this is important. And when I have an opportunity to do what's called a Scoutmaster Conference with every Scout, as they complete a rank, that's one of the things we focus on when we talk, is what does it mean to live the Scout spirit in your everyday life? Meaning not even when you're in a troop meeting, when you're at school, when you're home with your parents. And why do you think the BSA feels that's so important that they make it a requirement for every rank? And I love to hear the answers that I get from the Scouts, but that, to me, is one of the central requirements of every rank, including Eagle. Requirement number three is to earn a total of 21 merit badges, which is 10 additional over what you had to earn in order to earn life. And those 21 total merit badges must include the following, which we're commonly referred to as Eagle Required: first aid, citizenship in the community, citizenship in the nation, citizenship in the world, communications, personal fitness, either emergency preparedness or life-saving, environmental science, personal management, either swimming or hiking or cycling, camping, and finally family life. Requirement number four: while a Life Scout, serve actively for a period of 6 months in one or more positions of responsibility. One of the focuses of earning the Eagle rank is serving in a leadership position. And this encapsulates that, as do some of the other ranks. They need to serve in a position of responsibility within the troop, whether it be as a patrol leader or as a senior patrol leader or an assistant patrol leader or one of the other many positions of responsibility within a troop. While a Life Scout, plan, develop, and give leadership to others in a service project helpful to any religious institution, any school, or your community. This is the Eagle Project. This is the thing we all know about, that Eagle Scouts always have to do. They have to come up with an idea for a project that benefits, as it says here, a religious institution, a school, or your community. Get an okay from that organization who is the beneficiary, get an okay from their unit, get an okay from the district, and then plan and execute that project. I mentioned before about leadership being important. The purpose of that project really is the leadership that the potential Eagle Scout has the opportunity to exhibit in doing that project. Finally, requirement number 6 is take part in a Scoutmaster Conference. And finally, complete an Eagle Scout Board of Review, which is a board of review that is done at the district level, as opposed to here at the unit level. This is the only rank that requires a district level board of review. All of those, obviously, Will has completed since earning life, in addition to all the other requirements he completed to get to life. So, I would like to invite Will O'Rourke to please come forward and to meet me at the table. Will, we're finally at that point that you've been waiting for. Having confirmed all readiness for the reception of this award, it's now time to formally present this high badge of accomplishment. It's my pleasure and honor to be able to present this badge to you. We have the badge, and with this is the patch that will go on his uniform in addition to the badge. By the authority vested in me by the National Council, Court of Honor, and the Boy Scouts of America, it is my privilege and pleasure to pronounce you an Eagle Scout. And from the troop, I would like to present this personal plaque to Will commemorating his achievement of the rank of Eagle Scout on May 15th, 2012. And also from the troop, a token of our congratulations and a card. Thank you so much. Yeah, congratulations. One more thing. As you all know, Will is our first Eagle Scout. The troop has been in existence since January of 2010. The Legacy Park Homeowners Association, which is our chartering organization, has approved the placement of a plaque along the lines of what Mr. Higgins referred to, where we will commemorate our Eagle Scouts. Will become the first Eagle Scout to appear on that plaque and the beginning of a long tradition. And now I'd like to invite to the podium an assistant scoutmaster for the troop, someone who has known Will from Cub Scouts right up through Boy Scouts and today, Mr. Steve Clay.
Thank you so much. It's my great pleasure to tell everybody about Will O'Rourke today. And, It's been my honor and privilege to be his scoutmaster, scout leader, I guess, since he was a Tiger Cub. And that goes back a long, long time. And I was reading earlier on the slides that 4 out of every 100 scouts becomes Eagle eligible and has the accomplishments to become an Eagle. But I'd like to also say that it's really rare to see a group of boys get together and stay together like Evan and Jalil and Will have since they were Tigers. So if you guys would all stand up together, you will see them on many of these photos in the back. But you know, first of all, I always knew that one or more of you would reach Eagle. And I never knew who that would be, but I'm not surprised that it's Will. So thank you much, very, very much, boys. And you know, it's a great accomplishment. And you heard these folks up here talking about the accomplishment of Eagle and what it means to you personally. But I wonder, Will, if you have given much thought to how much you impact the others around you. And that's what I'd like to talk about briefly, is just that you have gone through and accomplished these things one by one by one. And I can remember, you know, from the very early days when you guys would leave the Tiger meetings holding your parents' hands and be tired just about, falling asleep at the end of the meeting. And the terror I had of having you sit in my front yard carving blocks of ivory soap with your brand new knives, and hoping that nobody lost a digit or I wouldn't show up on CNN after the camp. But it has been a thrill to be your scout leader throughout all those many, many years. And again, I look back through the photos in preparing for today, just thinking about all the good times that we've had and all the fun camping trips and some of the ones that were not so fun. I thought we would never get through that camping merit badge. I'm telling you right now, we would never finish that up. But it was a lot of fun the whole step of the way. And all about it is about how you affect others and about how you lead by example. And I think of all the leadership traits, leading by example is the most important one. And by being the very first, both in your patrol and also in the troop, I think that you set a high bar for everybody else in. I hope, and I think everybody would say the same, is that nothing would thrill us more than to see every scout in this room come up here and stand up here and be awarded the Eagle, just as you've done. So thank you very much for leading the way by example. Part of your journey as a scout has been, starting out and learning how to do things on your own. And when I thought about all the different things that Bill and I talked about as we approach this date and about which one should we mention, because there's so many. There's the sea-based trip, and some of those folks are here today who are with us. I mean, there's the Huntsville trip. There's all these different camping trips we took. But one of the ones that sticks out the most in my mind is when we told them, and I remember like yesterday, Bill telling Will, you guys have your tent plans set up for this trip? And this is the Red Top Mountain trip. Dad, I told you, we've already got it. We're on top. You don't have to worry about a thing. We're set. Looked at each other and said, okay, all right. I mean, it's boy-led troop. We went up to Red Top Mountain, and they pulled out this tent that Jalil brought along. And it is a tent in name only, because it is a tiny, tiny structure. It might have fit them all when they were Tigers, but now they're Boy Scouts. And they're like, we're going to do it. We're going to sleep in this tent. And so we scratch our heads, and they put all 3 of them and all their gear, because it was going to rain that night, in this little tent. And it was so funny. We really had to just bite our lips and not to laugh out loud. When we woke up the next morning, that tent was just a heap of stinking boy, and just canvas, no poles. It's just they couldn't have rolled it flatter. They had just tossed and turned all night. And it struck me afterward that we all learn by doing. It's how we learn, right? And that's what I've seen from you, Will, and from everybody, is that the next time you brought a better tent. And I mean, I've seen the progression of what you guys have cooked and eaten. And I mean, we're talking, folks, half raw pancakes and the other half blackened. Charred black bacon. I mean, that was like the first breakfast I saw them eat I mean, and they powered it down like it was the best meal they'd ever had. But they learned by doing. From that to blackened grilled cheese, to actually cooking in a Dutch oven something that was cornbread chili mix that was actually pretty good. So, I mean, you learn by doing, and I guess what I would leave you with is just that continue that. Continue to learn by doing, and take the spirit of scouting that I talked about, and the values of the Scout Law, and keep those with you always. I hope you guys are always great friends and stay in touch with each other. But more importantly, I want to see you continue to move forward in your life as you enter adulthood, and just take those values of scouting with you. That's how you can honor the troop and the folks around you, and the Eagle badge that you earned today. So thank you so much.
Next, I would like to call Will O'Rourke to the podium so we can hear from him.
First, I'd like to thank everyone who came today, representatives from the city, state, church, my school, and even scouting. Everyone that's here, my family, my friends. And it kept on being mentioned today that scouting, getting the Eagle badge, is a challenge. And as much as it is a challenge, I'd also like to think of it as something that runs along my life. And as Mr. Clay said, it taught me many lessons. It made me want to be a leader in TSA, help out model you in everything I'm part of. And not only that, it's taught me so many lessons throughout. I've met so many good friends and people, such as Evan, Jalil, Zach, Matthew, that I would never, if I was able to do it again, I would never not do Scouts. It's just been such a pleasure and honor. Thank you all. Parents, so please join me at the table. These are special pins that go to the Eagle recipients' parents, and they deserve this because of how much they've helped me along the way and how much they've been a backbone to my journey through. So, that's that. Thank you for keeping me motivated, making sure I always wear my uniform and everything else.
Next, I would like to invite Representative Ed Setzler from the state to come up and say a few words.
Got a resolution here we're going to read for Will that's from the Georgia House of Representatives. We like to honor Eagle Scouts when we can. It's an honor to be here. Will, I'm going to share with you very briefly the charge. When I got my Eagle Award in 1987, my scoutmaster, who was an old guy, he'd been a scoutmaster for 42 years, gave me a charge to not let this kind of be the end of my contribution, but that I was in a long tradition of people who had gone before me. I'll share very briefly. Yesterday I was with my sons visiting an old uncle. He's in his 90s up in Tennessee. And my wife's Uncle George was in the 6th United States Cavalry in World War II. Came on, landed in the beaches of Normandy the day after D-Day, and was involved in the rescue of the 101st Airborne Division in Bastogne in the winter of 1944. As he was sitting there as a 90-year-old with my 10-year-old son, my 13-year-old son, it reminded me that you're coming a long tradition of men and women who've sacrificed greatly to pass on the tradition of our nation. We sometimes will give a hard time to people this age that they're part of the Nintendo generation, that they don't stay on task like other kids, and I know we all as parents sometimes get frustrated. I as a scout leader sometimes get frustrated with my scouts. But you are a long tradition of people who've gone before you, who've taken the wisdom of our founders and passed it on from generation to generation to generation. It was awesome for me to see my wife's 90-year-old uncle talking one-on-one with my boys yesterday. Because I will tell you, if men like you don't carry these traditions forward, the things that make our nation great won't pass on. And I will tell you, those of you who've traveled outside our shores know that America really is unique in this world. It really is unique. You only need to spend a couple weeks in the Middle East to see the way human beings are treated, or spend time in parts of Asia to see that the idea that all men are equal and all people have the same dignity, whether they're a garbage collector or whether they're a CEO. That ideal that is uniquely American, it has to be passed on. And that's the tradition that you're in, whether this is the last time you serve in uniform or you go on after this to do that, pass that tradition on. Because that's what makes our nation great. I'd like to raise a resolution for the Georgia House of Representatives, recognizing and commending John William O'Rourke and for other purposes. Whereas John William O'Rourke has attained the rank of Eagle Scout, the most distinguished rank conferred by the Boy Scouts of America. And whereas a candidate for the most exceptional award in scouting must complete a rigorous program of training and demonstrate his proficiency in selected scouting techniques and attainment of the highest ideals of scouting. Whereas there's only one Boy Scout in 97 that ever reaches the lofty level of achievement. Will has ably evidenced his aptitude and competency in mastering the various special skills taught through the Boy Scout program. Whereas this hard-working young man is a member of Troop 2 and has demonstrated great leadership skills and initiative during his years with the Boy Scouts of America program. Whereas to earn the rank of Eagle Scout, Will designed and built 8 fitness stations in and around the trails of Legacy Park for the people to use as part of their workout routines. Whereas this outstanding Georgian has truly exhibited a commitment to the scouting principles of honesty, fairness, and has consistently conducted himself in a manner becoming of an Eagle Scout. He also serves as the president of the Engineering, Computer, and Technology Science Club, a varsity letter holder and scholar athlete of the North Cobb High School tennis team, and is a member of the Model UN. Whereas the perseverance and determination displayed by this exceptional young leader is an example for all Georgians, and great success is surely in your future. Now, therefore, be it resolved that John William O'Rourke is commended for his diligence and dedication in pursuing the highest honor awarded by the Boy Scouts of America. Congratulations were extended to the Georgia House of Representatives. Signed, so be it resolved, 31 May 2012.
Thank you very much, Representative Sessler. Next, I'd like to ask Mayor Mark Matthews from the City of Kennesaw to come up and say a few words.
Will, I'm very proud of you. It's a great accomplishment for you today, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I really appreciate the invitation. Not only is it a proud day for me as a Legacy Park resident, but also a proud day for the city for everything that you've done. We'd like to present you with a certificate of excellence. And if I can get the council, I've got 2 members of the council to come up and stand with me. Councilman Jeff Duckett, who's also a Legacy Park resident, and Councilman Killingsworth, who is here with us as well. And I want to read this, and then if they want to add any to it, they can. So the Kennesaw Mayor and City Council recognize Will O'Rourke for earning his Boy Scouts of America Eagle Scout rank on May 15, 2012 with Troop 2, chartered by Legacy Parks Homeowner Association in Kennesaw. For his Eagle project, Will chose to design a series of fitness training stations to line the walking trails of Legacy Park. Will has great interest in fitness, and with the feedback from residents, came up with 7 stations that target the major muscle groups. On 4 work days, Will oversaw a group of 12 scouts and various adult leaders in the building and installation of the equipment. The training stations are a wonderful addition to the trail system and an ever-present opportunity to encourage fitness within the Legacy Park community. Congratulations to Will O'Rourke for a job well done.
Appreciate all you've done, and very proud of you. Proud of the family that's supported y'all. So, congratulations. Well, congratulations. They keep telling me that now I've got to come over to Legacy Park to try to work some of this out. No, I understand you did it to me.
Next, we will have the Eagle Charge. Will O'Rourke, at this point in your Eagle Scout ceremony, you will be asked to take an Eagle Scout pledge. This pledge is typically administered by an Eagle Scout. Today, Dr. Philip Page has the honor and privilege to deliver the Eagle Charge to you.
Good afternoon. It is an honor to be able to deliver Will's charge today. Scouts of all nations make up one of the most wholesome and significant movements in the world's history. John William O'Rourke, you have been judged by the Boy Scouts of America as being worthy of this honor. All who know you rejoice in your achievement. This award, as you will know, is one of honor and responsibility. Will, you are a marked man today. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed a solemn obligation to your duty to God, country, and your fellow Scouts, and to mankind in general. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor to yourself and to your brother Scouts. America has many good things to give you and your children after you, but these good things depend, for the most part, on the quality of their citizens. Our country has had a great past. You can help make the future even greater. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only toward the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the highest level of service to God and your fellow man. So live and serve, that those who know you will be inspired to find their living. I charge you to be among those who dedicate their hearts, hands, skills, and abilities to common good. Help build America's future by continuing to set an example of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and reverence to God, whatever others may do. You will leave behind you a record of which you may be justly proud. Eagle candidate John Will O'Rourke, I charge you to enter this Eagle Scout Brotherhood holding without reservation and ever before you the ideals of life. Our country has had a great past. You can help make the future even greater. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only toward the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the highest level of service to God and your fellow man. So live and serve, that those who know you will be inspired to find their living. I charge you to be among those who dedicate their hearts, hands, skills, and abilities to common good. Help build America's future by continuing to set an example of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and reverence to God, whatever others may do. You will leave behind you a record of which you may be justly proud. Eagle candidate John Will O'Rourke, I charge you to enter this Eagle Scout Brotherhood holding without reservation and ever before you the ideals of honor and service. When you pledge yourself on your sacred honor, you will be sealing the eternal loyalty. The code of the Eagle Scout is the same words which flows the Declaration of Independence. I'd like all Eagle Scouts in the audience to stand at this time and rededicate themselves, ourselves, by repeating the Eagle Scout promise with our new Eagle Scouts. Please make the Scout sign and repeat after me. my training and example,
may my training and example,
and my status and my influence count strongly for better scouting and for better citizenship. In my truth, in my community, and in my contacts with other people. To this I pledge my sacred honor. Please be seated. Don William O'Rourke, your conduct along the trail has been excellent. You have rededicated yourself to the principles of scouting. But one thing more is important, your future. As an Eagle Scout, you become a guide to other scouts. You become an example in your community. Remember that your actions are now a little more conspicuous and people respect a little more friendly. To foster your responsibility would reflect not only on you, but on your fellow Eagles and all of Scouts. The torch you carry is not only yours, it is also ours.
Congratulations again for this important achievement, and thank you to everyone who is here with us to recognize
glorious day and this wonderful event. Father, I thank you for the words of wisdom that have been shared here, for the inspiration, for the humor, and especially, Lord, for the love that we have seen poured out on Will and on the scouting community from the leaders and family and friends that have taken up their time to be a part of this. Lord, it would be our prayer that Will indeed would be the first of many and that you would bless this endeavor. We claim this place as holy ground for Troop 2. We pray, Lord, your protection upon the scouts, the leaders, and their families, and that they would continue to model and show your example of leadership, which is servant leadership. That this might be a better community and nation and world for all of God's people. Amen.
Please rise for the retirement of the color. Color guard, attention. Troop, attention. Color guard, please receive color. Gently put their hands over their heart. Scout salute. Color guard, retreat. Two. On behalf of Troop 2, and on behalf of the Aurora family, thanks again for coming and recognizing Will today. Bugler, please sound retreat.